Alright everyone, today we are going to be doing alarming. Basically what we're going to do, we're going to be subscribing to device-based alarming events. Then we're going to test the alarms using the alarm summary and object. Then we're going to be working with device-based alarms such as digital, analog, alarms, and then acknowledging them from the Logix Designer, working with tag-based alarms and event, viewing alarms as tags, acknowledging alarms, the alarm summary. We're going to be shelving alarms, configuring the new non-alarm condition called events, introducing additional FactoryTalk event functions, and setting up historical alarm events logging and database. So let's begin. So make sure you have your emulator on. So we're gonna go in FactoryTalk Linux properties, and then we're gonna make sure that enable alarm is checkmarked, and we're gonna make sure enable history is checkmarked. If it is, then great, you can press cancel. If it's not, make sure it is. And then we're gonna go to the communication setup, which is this guy. Open, and then you're gonna check that this has been enabled to yes. This confirms that Logix device-based alarm is enabled and that the FactoryTalk Linux server is subscribing to alarms and events from Studio 5000 emulator controller. Okay, you're gonna cancel out of that. All right, let's begin. You're gonna go on displays, new. I'm gonna go on objects. We're gonna go on alarm and events, and then you're gonna click summary. And then once you have done that, using your mouse and pointer, just draw the object, you know, how big you want it. I'll just make it this big. Boom. And then you get alarm and summary property page. In there, you're going to make sure the column headline is marked. Everything's marked except horizontal or vertical lines. If it is, it will be, so you can leave it as default. Press cancel so you don't make sure you don't change anything. If you did, it doesn't. And then you can test it to see the alarms. Press play, and then you can see these alarms coming in without doing any configuration. The alarm summary will display alarms. What you are seeing are the device-based alarms that are coming directly from the program running the Studio 5000 emulate. So with that being said, you can select any alarm. For example, we are going to see how many alarms there are. You can pick any alarm, you know. I'm gonna pick this trip one. And then you notice that the additional information will be displayed here. Let's make this bigger. Alright, now you notice that the additional information is displayed over here. You can scroll down. Now we'll stop testing it. Now we're gonna double click on so what you're gonna want to do is you are going to wanna double click on the alarm summary object and go to the states tab. So you just double click it and then you go to the states tab, and then in the states tab, the states tab shows you all the properties such as color, icon, blink status for how alarms will appear in the alarm summary list. You can modify any of these properties if you want. but we're going to leave them as it is for default property setting for the sake of going on with setting the alarms and making sure we have time to do other things. So press cancel, but this is over here where you can figure out all the alarms and state and the coloring. So we're going to cancel out of that. So now on the graphics toolbar, let's press play, and we'll be coming back to these alarms to continue to explore them. But you can, once you get to this stage, you can go and explore them if you want. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to be working with device-based alarm and events, which is the digital and analog. A digital alarm, which is ALMMD instruction, is configured to monitor the inputs for the following conditions. The input value is either equal to 1 or 0. When the alarm condition is true, the alarm enters an in-alarm state. When the alarm condition is false, the alarm enters the normal or out-of-alarm state. An analog alarm, or also known as ALMA instruction, can be configured to monitor for two types of alarm condition: level and rate of change. A level alarm monitors an input for alarm condition that go in alarm when the input value goes above or below predefined limits. When defining a new level alarm, you can configure up to 4 alarm level conditions for each, sometimes called threshold, a severity of alarm supported conditions such as high high, high low, or low low. A rate of change alarm monitors an input of alarm conditions that go in alarm when the input value changes faster or slower than predefined limits. When defining a level alarm, you can configure up to 2 rate of change conditions, each with limit severity and an alarm message supporting an alarm condition. Basically, so you have your rate of change position, which is ROC POS, and then you have a rate of change of negative. So now that you know that, I already have this preset up, but in your file you can follow along if you're trying to set these instructions up. But I have a little shortcut that I've created to my file. Gonna let that file open up. Takes a little bit of time. So basically, once that's open, what you're gonna want to do is you want to go online. There's many ways of going online, but I'm gonna go online like this. Make sure it's online. All right, there you go. Now that it's online, basically prompt it with the device you want to go. You want to upload something or you want to download something. We're gonna go to download. We are basically downloading this to our emulator. Alrighty, now that that's done, I'm going to click OK. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in the left pane, expand your main task packer folder under tasks, which is this. It's already open. And then what you're going to do is you're going to double click the alarm routine. So packer, and then double click the alarm routine. And then you notice this is our routine. Basically, you're going to scroll down to rung 5. When you scroll down to rung 5, you'll notice that ALMD. This is an instruction with a digital alarm named CP glue alarm, which is this. The alarm is currently not active. You can tell by looking at the instructions output parameter in alarm. Notice that it's not highlighted green. In the alarm parameter, it is not active because the input condition is false. In this case, the input condition is a Boolean tag named alarm controlled 1. You can tell the condition is false because it is not highlighted green. So now, if you go to alarm 1 and then you go to toggle bit, you notice that this green thing came on. Or you can press Control T as a shortcut. So now you notice that alarm control 1 is on, and in alarm parameter of CP no glue alarm instruction is active now, and in alarm. Now let's switch talk to FactoryTalk View Studio. Now we're going to go on play. Now we're going to try to find the no glue alarm. Sometimes it takes a second to come in. You can adjust these. Okay. So we are looking for cookie line Packer CP no glue. This guy right here. Now notice that this alarm appears in the list with the alarm of cookie line program Packer CP no glue alarm. This corresponds to ALMMD instructions we had just observed in rung 5 of the Logix Designer. The alarm and event summary object is indicating that the alarm is active just as we would expect it. The controller logic is designed to automatically turn off CP no glue alarm after 2 minutes. After this time, we can search for the CP no glue alarm in the alarm summary again. So if you give it 2 minutes, it should turn on. There you go. It's already green, and that's how you know it's off. And since it's not red anymore and not blinking or flashing, we know it's no longer active. This is reflected in its color by being green. If you notice that it is green. And the small bell icon, this guy, signifies that it a normal unacknowledged alarm state. All of the various colors that represent different alarm states can be configured in the alarm summary properties. Let's switch back to Logic Designer. Now, if inside the alarm instruction, we're going to have to click Browse. So this is our alarm instruction. Inside it, we're going to click Browse to open up the ALMD configuration dialog. If you notice, the severity is currently set to 500, which represents a medium priority alarm. Let's change the severity to 1,000. Which represents an urgent priority alarm. Once that's done, you can press apply and OK. Then select the examine on again. Basically, as you notice, it's not on. Control T. Oops. Control T to toggle bit. And now you notice that it's an alarm. The bit has been turned on. Now if we switch back to Factory Talk, we should be seeing that CP no glue alarm in the alarm again. Ah, there it is. See? Notice that the color of the alarm has changed to red. The color change occurs because we changed the severity of the alarm to urgent, as well as the severity icon changed from the exclamation in a triangle to a 2 exclamation in a circle to represent urgent severity. Now let's go back to our logics and click browse again. Go on status. And then we're just gonna observe the in alarm time, and we're gonna observe the return normal time, the return time to normal, basically these. To acknowledge the alarm from Logic Designer, click basically what we need to do is we need to acknowledge the alarm from the Alarm Logic Designer. Basically, we gotta click Acknowledge button near the button dialog of the window, which is this. So we can acknowledge it. So now that it's been acknowledged, you'll notice that these times have changed. Now you can press OK. Return to Factory Talk again, and the alarm display should still be open in test run mode. Let's go check. So we're looking for no glue. It says it's an alarm. Ah, there it is. No glue trip. But what you'll notice is that these icons, it's still an alarm and it's indicating that it's been acknowledged. But the acknowledge is this button. Seems like it didn't acknowledge it. So let's go back. Acknowledge. So we've acknowledged it. Press OK. Go on this. And you see this now? The check mark with the bell sign? That's how you know that the alarm has been acknowledged. So let's go back to our Logix Designer. And now we're going to switch to the main subroutine. So you go on main, double click that. And then we're going to scroll down to 25. Basically this rung. So we're going to pretty much make sure that it's enabled. So right click, toggle bit. And now it's enabled. Should have gone green. There you go. Now it's enabled. Notice you can see that the tag is no longer off. It is actually on. And now we're going to turn it off. There you go. Now it's off. Still, if you notice the Packer, so now that the alarm, excuse me, but in the Packer folder, we can go and double click on the alarm routine and scroll to rung 2. So let's go to Packer. Let's click on alarms and rung 2, which is this guy. Now you see CP glue alarm. If you notice, if the alarm level is active and none of the alarm conditions such as high high, high low, low low, or low alarm will be highlighted in green to the right. And as you can see, nothing is highlighted green. So now, if you go and you click in the value and you write 181, you notice that the alarm went up. Notice how the high alarm condition came true. Now double click, now we're going to go and double click the 181 and bring it up to 202. You see now the high alarm came in. If the high alarm level condition is met, the high alarm condition is always true as well. Therefore, whenever high alarm is active, whenever high alarm is active, the high alarm will be as well. The same cases applies to two low level alarms. If the low is active, that means the low alarm is also triggered. Let's switch back to factory talk. Now we're going to go and observe the alarm summary. We're going to find the two entries, the two we put in, the high and the high-low alarm. And the basically way you find it is through here, high, but that's not the one we triggered. So this is making time. We go higher. So over here we shall find our alarm. See? High, and high. Basically, these are our two alarms. The one that's blinking and that. While both of the conditions are active, they each have different severity level designated by different display colors and severity icons. Meaning if you look at these icons and you look at these icons, these are different from these. And the severe one is this one. And this one is a high one. You can see the alarm screen and the alarm summary for high condition, case pack for the high temperature. That was when we set off for the 181. And then we set off one for the 201, which is the high. In many cases, it is useful to have additional process information associated with an alarm. When an alarm is defined, you can associate up to 4 tags with the alarm at runtime. The tag values are recorded in the alarm and event history log, and which can also be displayed in alarm event summary or alarm and event log viewer. The values of associated tags can also be embedded in an alarm message, and the contents of an alarm or an event summary or alarm event log viewer can also be filtered based on the value of an associated tag. So let's close the current display because we are done. No, we would not like to save any changes, but if you got the alarms that you wanted, I recommend you save them. So now we're going to go back into our Logix Designer and we're going to browse again. We're going to view the configuration dialog, which is this. This time we're going to go on messages, the messages that are being displayed. So this is where the messages are being displayed. As you can see, this is what showed up when the alarms came on. And these are the associated tag with them. By defining the associated tag, such as mpacker, glue temp, temp zone, and using it in an alarm message, not only is it current temperature of glue invaded, in an alarm message and displayed, but its value will also be recorded in the alarm history when we configure any time the alarm is triggered. So basically, just wanted to show you this is where they're configured. Be sure you press cancel if you don't want to change anything. But if you have wanted to know where you configure it, this is where you would do it. So now we're going to leave our Logix Designer. Nope, we don't want to save the changes, but for you, if you got what you wanted, you can save the changes. And basically, that is how you do the alarm and the alarm setting for it.